Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here. If you're paying attention to the news, I don't know, you might just get your news from me. Some people tell me they do. I'm providing a service. The news, I know, is very, okay, let's see. What's the word? Scary? The news is very scary. We got through January 6th of this year, and we were actually, we got through the election of last year, right? Last year, right around this time, we were like, oh, Joe Biden's going to be president. You know, we're like, oh, yay, yippee, things are going to change. Little did we know that we'd be having to deal with all this domestic terrorism and threats of violence. And it was really bad, as we know. January 6th, we all know that way too well. I know that this country is violence run amok right now. So I was looking for ways to give you some hope and something to think about that actually is scientifically proven to work, to bring it down, to bring the tension down of a civilization, of a society, of a community. This is science. And this was in 2007 to 2010. Large groups practicing transcendental meditation were associated with significant reductions in U.S. homicide and urban violent crime rates during an intervention period of 2007 to 2010. A new study by the Maharishi University confirmed, can a large group meditation lower the crime rate? The most recent in a series of studies spanning decades suggests that a sufficiently large group practicing a program of transcendental meditation is associated with decreased violence. Let me tell you something. It doesn't have to be transcendental meditation. It can be meditation. I would like to see organized groups of lots of people getting together and meditating. And if you haven't had the gift of being able to meditate in a large group, I know some of you have seen Sadhguru is my guru, and there's an ashram in Tennessee. But you don't have to go there. You don't have to go to India. You can just, first of all, just to know that you'll be contributing some energy to the calming down of things. Meditate, get quiet. It doesn't do us any good to stay in the craziness, all right? It doesn't do us any good to worry. And that's what I want to say about that, because it needs to be said. What we can do is we can all calm down as best we can. So let's get to the news. I just wanted to share that with you, because if you're watching what's going on with all the threats that you know, like even poll workers are getting, just plain old government officials, you know, senators, and as we know, AOC and Gosar, I can't even believe he's still seated. It's a lot. When we look at all this and nothing seems to be being done, and we're going to take a look at that too. It's overwhelming and it's horrifying. Just tell it like it is. So I thought I would share that with you, just to get you thinking. We all have to be thinking about, you know, like Gandhi said, be the peace that you, or be the change you want to see in the world. And I always say, be the peace that you want to see in the world. So let's take a look at the cards and see what's up. So I just heard the breaking news that there's a temporary stay on getting the documents to Congress, because, you know, 45 wants his executive privilege to be in effect even though he wasn't an executive. In the meantime, as I have foretold many times, and it doesn't take a psychic, a scientist, that we're not going to believe the amount of news that's coming out. It just seems like every day the more revelations that come out of how we averted a total disaster. Like my last video I mentioned, when we get freaked out, we might want to think about the fact that we're all still here in a democracy, a very wounded and crippled democracy at the present time. If you look around, you know, we are in that. However, got to count our blessings that, you know, he didn't get reelected. And now we're finding out lots of, you know, Mussolini-esque behavior that was exhibited by people that were in the White House with him, and, you know, the war room on January 5th, and, you know, all the people in leadership positions that were involved in the insurrection. And, you know, it's packages not coming in the mail. It's overwhelming. Let's go to a few topics. I wrote down some questions. I was good. What do I want to go? Well, since I was just talking about 45 and the documents, on the last time I was here on Tuesday, I believe it was, I said that I saw those documents being released to the January 6th Commission in Congress on Friday. I kept saying Friday, 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 Friday. And let's see if it's still Friday, because at that point it was. And then I watched the news, and sure enough, they said Friday the documents would be released. Is it going to be tomorrow? The pendulum is still indicating that it will be tomorrow. Let's see what the cards say. Are they going to get the documents released about January 6th and all the nefarious activity that was going on with 45? You know, and I wanted to say about that, if we hadn't made it as a democracy, if we hadn't survived January 6th, the world would be a completely different place right now in terms of, if our government had been completely toppled, China would be the world leader right now, and Russia probably. So we gotta hang on to the light. We gotta hang on to what's good and what's right. And maybe it's all good for us all to meditate. You don't have to, just not as mysterious as people seem to think. Just be quiet. Just sit quietly in a room. If you want to know more about that, just AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. I can help you. I always offer, and nobody takes me up on it. Okay, so this is about the documents. The world is indicating that's good news. There is going to be a bit of a snafu, but this is, you know, the Seven of Cups defeated. This is 45. Defeated, like I keep saying, running out of things to use in his defense. There's not much left that he can use except corruption and violence. Except further corruption and violence. All right, so are we going to have further corruption and violence from 45? Don't you wish he just went away? Well, I see yes and no. I know, that doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I don't mean to do that. Are we going to see further violence from 45's base around this January 6th commission? Well, that says no. Okay. The guides just said he's losing steam. I'm not sure what that means. He's losing steam. 45 is losing steam. They're really trying everything. They're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. If anything will stick. His lawyers. Boy, that must not be a fun job to be 45's lawyer. That would be tough. All right, are we going to see some action? How about that? Are we going to see some action? Right now the moon is void, of course, but tonight it goes into around 2 o'clock Eastern time AM. It goes into Aquarius. So Aquarius is sudden shifts and sudden changes, and it's the Tower card, and it's like disruption. And we've all heard about the Plutonian effect nowadays. We have heard about a lot of Plutonian energy that is, you know, got to remember about Pluto energy is it's very tumultuous, and it shakes things up so they can come together in a new way, much like the phoenix that, you know, the fire stage of the phoenix before it rises from the ashes. I'll just wax philosophical a little bit. I have a painting of a phoenix, and it just reminded me of that. More about 45. Anger, 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 anger. He still has a lot of people that will fight for him, which is mind-boggling, knowing how much he spewed hatred and vitriol and hatred and vitriol. And, you know, if you have people around you, God bless them, that still support him, and I mean God bless them, that still support him, and you want some kind of a thing that you can say in terms of why you don't support the last guy that was in the White House, just say that I'm for love and he was for hate. That's all. What can you say about that? There's not much of a rebuttal to that, right? I'm for love, he's for hate. That's why anyway. I still see houses with flags. Make America Great Again. You know who, 2020. Someday we'll do an in-depth reading to get into the psychology of people that like him. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm going on. The High Priestess, this is about the documents. He's very, 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 very angry, and I see a lot of Republicans that are guilty really yelling and raging, which is not a good thing. But the Hierophant is coming up. So the High Priestess is, the January 6th Commission has all the secrets. They really do. Even if, I do see that they're going to get the documents, even if they didn't, hypothetically, I'm going to say hypothetically, even if they didn't, they already have enough to go on. So let's know that this isn't about the evidence. This is not about not having enough evidence. This is about not having enough, you know what, to make things, have justice happen. Steve Bannon should be in handcuffs, right? He should be in prison right now, awaiting trial. The Hierophant has stood for our Constitution. It's hanging on by a thread, but it still stands. And now that I'm going down this rabbit hole, now I feel like I want to see what's going to happen with the commission based on my information here, my psychic facts. What's going to happen when they get the documents? The plot thickens. What's going to happen when they get those documents? Adam Kinzinger is getting threatened. School committee members are being threatened. Principals, superintendents are being threatened about, wanting the mask mandates. As we know, AOC has been, basically Gosar is threatening to murder her. I'm sorry, let's just tell it like it is, right? So with the January 6th Commission, the Five of Swords, this has come up before. Kind of like I mentioned before, it's like Gulliver's Travels when the giant is trapped while he's sleeping, kind of. And I think that represents 45, just kind of like losing. Like I said, he's running out of steam. The guys are saying he's running out of steam. Running out of steam and, pinning him down. This has to do with pinning him down, the January 6th Commission. Then they have to carefully balance the facts and what they need to do next. So pray for the January 6th Commission. I'm not joking. Remember, meditation brings down the crime rate. Prayer helps. I think, I imagine, because I know the science of prayer and, it's worth looking into. I feel like if people were praying and meditating, we would have we have hopes for a better situation if people get quiet. Even if it's a yoga class, if you just, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, just be peaceful. Think peaceful things happening. Think of peaceful things happening. The Prince of Swords, I see some really courageous people on that commission, and I really do feel like they'll prevail. And I did mention last time that I see a lot happening on the full moon next week and during the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. Sounds like someone's having a party out there. Okay, so another question. Let's switch gears. I want to ask if things are going to get better for veterans in this country. I just want to, if you or someone you know is a veteran, thank you for your service, or in active military duty now, thank you for your service. We honor and respect your dedication and commitment to keeping our country safe. Let's pick a few cards to see how the veterans, if the United States is actually going to take better care of our veterans. I'm going to pick 2 cards for that. They're looking at it. I mean, they're looking at doing better, and I'm getting yes. And the 8 of Pentacles is, there's going to be more money coming I'm going to pick one more card for veterans. And the 6 of Cups, I really feel like attention will be brought to the veterans, especially since the war in Afghanistan is now over. Those resources are coming back into this country. Remember, it was it 500 million or was $300 million a day were being spent on that war? We had to just kind of pull out of that war and pray for the people in Afghanistan too. Okay. It's heavy. Things are heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Do a little dance. Just keep the energy up as best you can, right? Be with your loved ones, laugh, play, have fun. Switching gears really even more. I don't want to hear about inflation and shortages. Here's why. Because when the news comes on and they act like we're all going to starve to death and that we're all going to not have heat and we're all going to not going to be able to drive our cars, that's being extreme. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's just being extreme. And that we can't have Christmas. I won't get all preachy about that, but I promise. We can do really well with less. And you know what's weird about me saying that is I feel like I'm saying something really controversial. I shouldn't be saying that. Where does that come from? We can do pretty well with less. I'm not even saying we're going to have to do with less. I'm just saying we actually, as a nation, can consume less. That's all. Let's see how that's going to go. Not consuming less, but I just mean as far as shortages. I mean, if you can still find an apple in the grocery store, it's not that that's enough, but, and you can still find, I don't know, toilet paper, we're okay. Let's not worry about things that haven't happened. All right? Are you with me? Think positive. I've mentioned it before. Dr. Wayne Dyer would say, ships used to be made out of wood so they would float, and then all of a sudden, one day, someone went, why don't we see if steel can float? So, engineers made that happen. So Dr. Wayne Dyer would say, there's a quote, the law of flotation was not discovered by the contemplation of the sinking of things. We got to think about what we can do, what does work. That's what I'm saying. giving you a little, advice tonight. Things to ponder. So, looking at that. I'm looking at, okay, so I feel the cargo ships moving. I feel them moving. I feel the log jams being fixed so that they're coming to port. I see lines of cargo ships for days on end, 24/7, coming into port. I see a lot of jobs being, available for anybody who wants those jobs to unload the cargo ship. I see that happening. I see an influx of cargo ships. I'm seeing California mostly. So yeah, everybody just relax, because the cargo ships are coming in. And we don't need to spend so much money on Christmas. I'm just going to say it. Maybe that's controversial. We don't need to spend so much money on Christmas. We don't. I don't buy Christmas gifts. I'm not Jewish. I don't do any of that. And I love Christmas. I love the solstice. Okay, so this is an opportunity that the Republicans are taking to just, oh, well, it's because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden should be driving the cargo ships. It's like, Joe Biden should be drilling for gas. You know what I mean? It's like the Republicans are just using this to squabble and complain. The Four of Wands, this is exactly what I'm saying. I see the cargo ships coming in. It's going to be a little slow for a little while, but we won't have to go without. See, the Ace of Pentacles. We have everything that we need. It's all going to be fine. So, you can expend your energy, I don't know, doing watercolors or something, or playing an instrument, having fun. Raising the vibe. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about inflation. This stuff is temporary, and it's because of COVID. And as far as gas shortages go, good. Well, maybe we'll drive down the price of electric or hybrid vehicles, and people will be driving those or leasing those, or people will be carpooling. I don't know. My point is, we're okay. Let's see. Okay. I said I wasn't going to go here, but I have to. Rittenhouse. The Rittenhouse trial. I fear a Rodney King type situation because the judge is racist and Rittenhouse is going to get off. That's my psychic impression. I'm just going to ask, is that going to happen? Is it going to be like a mistrial and he walks? Okay, so I'm getting mistrial and Rittenhouse walks. If you saw, I guess it's Kyle Rittenhouse on the stand, on the witness stand, when he took the stand. Oh, the whole thing is so ugly. I'm going to peek at it, but the whole thing is so ugly. I'm just going to pick 3 cards, and then I'll elaborate on the Rittenhouse thing. I think the reason that I couldn't go there was I was probably picking up on the racist judge. If we've learned anything, it's we have a very broken judicial system in this country, and that's the thing that's concerning. Very broken. Except, what's her name? Chutkin. Yeah, she told, what did she say? I wrote it down. Presidents are not kings, and the plaintiff is not president. So, yeah, they're good judges, too. Well. All right, so what the guides are showing me with the Rittenhouse thing is, I think he's going to walk. And if you ask me, I think his mother should go to jail. And I'm not saying what Kyle Rittenhouse did was okay, but hear me out. Kyle Rittenhouse was not even born when Columbine happened. Since Columbine happened, We can't even count how many school shootings there have been, how many fatalities, and not just schools, all over this country, all day, every day. We're becoming a nation of guns. We're a nation of guns. We have a culture of guns. So when I saw Rittenhouse on the stand, my very first reaction was, oh, well, yeah, he should get the Academy Award as soon as he started talking. And then when it kept going and he started sobbing, I mean, like, you know, and everyone's saying, oh, fake tears, crocodile tears, you know, and all that. I understand. I'm not on Rittenhouse's side. I'm just saying, and that this has even happened. Shame on the United States of America as a nation for glorifying violence and glorifying guns and not putting an end to racism, not confessing our collective sin of slavery and allowing this to continue. And I'm not being preachy and I'm not being self-righteous. I'm just saying, when I saw Kyle Rittenhouse breaking down into these sobs, fake or not, I saw one very damaged, brainwashed, mind-controlled individual that never even knew the meaning of love. That's what I saw. What kind of mother drops her son off fully armed with automatic weapons, going over state lines to go help the police, and he's 16, 17 years old at the time, and drives away? She should be in jail. This trial is, in a sense, it's rigged. I want to ask if, so you can see why I didn't want to go here, because it's just so dark, but I know people are wondering. I do my best. Is it going to end in violence like the Black Lives Matter type thing? I just gotta tell you what I see. Pray. I do see a bit of a delay. I don't know if it's a retrial type of a thing or if it goes back to court, but this judge is all in on acquittal. And I'm just saying about that whole scenario of this. I get this really strong sense of it's almost like a cult. It's like his brain is cult brain. And I don't care what anybody says, being a psychic and seeing his full-on sobbing, entire body convulsing, crying, I don't think the best actor could do that. And that was real, and that was, he's only 17. I'm not condoning, of course I'm not condoning what he did. I'm saying, what have we become as a nation? What have we become? People are armed to the teeth. Why? Anyway, if the psychics need to delve into these things, we need to be able to like process it with you too, because that's part of the gig. I think even Rachel Maddow does that. You know, when I think about it. So that's enough of the court cases in terms of these murder, these racist, these lynchings, you know, these murders that were committed in the environment of racism. I can't go to Ahmaud Arbery, but the next time I will, in a day or so, and we'll see what's happened with that. I just can't go there. It's just too. I don't understand racism. I don't have the bandwidth. Okay, I'm sure you're the same way. The COVID. Why did I write COVID? Why did I write COVID? What do we want to know? I think what I wanted to look into was, I wanted to mention, I remember that I said, and you might remember, that I keep seeing Desantis being in big trouble and arrested. And then he appoints the Surgeon General to the state of Florida, who's a fake. I think he was on the team where there was that crazy, like Jamaican woman doctor. I think she was Jamaican, and she was saying that women are having sex with Satan and getting ovarian cysts. It was insanity. I'm telling you. Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life down here. Jeez. I keep seeing Ron DeSantis being, you know, recharged for something, not just one thing, very illegal. I traced it to like a monetary thing, money laundering, or, you know, stealing, and it's, the guys just said it's all of the above. And people have died because of